On today's Locked On Senators, it's game day. The Sens wrap up their season series against Columbus with last place in the East on the line.
And a top Sens prospect broke a franchise record with a huge Belleville Senators win last night.
We'll get into all that and more on today's edition of the Locked On Senators podcast. It's your team every day.
Your Locked On Senators, your daily podcast on the Ottawa Senators. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
I'm Jake Sanderson, and you're listening to Locked On Senators podcast.
I'm Tim Stützle, and you're listening to the Locked On Senators podcast.
Welcome inside episode 1002 of the Locked On Senators podcast. I'm Ross Levitan on the outskirts of enemy territory in Winnipeg, Manitoba. Alongside Brandon Piller up in the Blue Mountains. You can follow the show. We're on social media at Sens Central on Twitter, LockedOn.Senators on Instagram. The show is free and available on all podcast platforms, including on YouTube, where we say hello and let you know that a like, comment, and subscription go a long way to helping the show grow. Make sure to smash that bell as well, because we will have the postcast for you tonight after the Senators visit the Columbus Blue Jackets. It is about as meaningless of a late season game as you can get, but we'll be there 7 o'clock Eastern's the start, 10 o'clock postcast right here on the Locked On Senators YouTube channel. Today is Thursday, March 14th, and Pilsy, the start of the season, it was can't lose games, must win games. Have we turned the page to can't win games?
Yeah, Ross, I don't know what you're talking about saying a meaningless game here. This game could have implications that echo throughout both franchises' futures for a long time here based on how these 2 points go. Hopefully not 3 points. We don't want 3 points. Imagine the Sens pull. They're in overtime. They pull their goalie and let the Columbus Blue Jackets score on them. That's how you do it. Everyone thinks John Hines is a genius. Well, Jacques Martin's going to flip the script and he's going to get the automatic 0 points in OT if that happens. But these two teams, they're down and they're down bad, but they're trying to be down worst. And I'm saying it, Ross. This is a can't win game.
No.
You cannot win this game. If you win this game, it's a complete waste. Like I know maybe some people are saying, Pilsy, come on, you were stoked about them beating the Penguins. Yeah, that's different. It's a rival. It's an actually good team that's, is not going to affect your your lottery odds at all. So it doesn't matter. And it was a win at home. That's fine. This Columbus Blue Jackets team, you don't want to beat them. Take the loss on the road. Let their fans leave happy. Maybe a 1-0 game in shootout so that we don't have to hear the cannon. That would be great.
Sounds
well, no, we don't want the shootout. Never mind. Sorry. My bad. We don't want the shootout. We don't want the extra point. So 1-0 in regulation.
You're obviously the guy who's not doing the postcast tonight, because I'll take a win just for the vibes. I want to put the helmet on. Mine's collecting dust. You got to rock yours after the Penguins win. I haven't been able to since February 25th, I believe, was the date that the Senators beat the Vegas Golden Knights. It's been far too long. The 24th. Oh, sorry. 24th.
Should I join the postcast to ensure a loss?
No. That's okay. You do your thing, baby. We'll talk about it tomorrow here on the show. Look, I get where you're coming from, and it does make a lot of sense. Columbus is an elite tanking team, though. They're an elite tanking team. So I think whether or not the Sens win tonight, Columbus is going to find a way to finish below Ottawa in the standings. As it stands right now, Ottawa is 2 points ahead of Columbus. So if Columbus does beat Ottawa tonight, they're tied. However, Ottawa does have 2 games in hand on the Blue Jackets. Ottawa's also got 3 games in hand on Arizona, who are 1 point ahead of them in the standings. So I'm using tonight as you can't lose, because you can't lose either way. Either we get a win or we get to be closer to a top 5 draft pick. That's the way I'm seeing it. It's not a can't lose game, Pilsy. It's an impossible to lose game. You can't. It's just not possible. It's going to be a win for the Senators no matter where you slice it. But look, it does matter to me a little bit that the team kind of like feels good. I do not want to go 10-2-1, anything like that down the stretch like they have in the past, where it's completely meaningless, but they don't have to lose all of them either. So If they win, not the end of the world, especially like if there was 2 games left in the season and this was that much, but there's so much flexibility. There's 19 games left.
Ross, I can't believe I'm sitting here on the Locked On Senators podcast with my Sens hat on in my Sens room, and I'm debating you how badly the Ottawa Senators need to lose this game. Sure, you can't lose every game. You want to win some of the games, but this is the team in the Eastern Conference that you want to lose to, especially Ross. Every time we do those tankathon spins on the postcast, what's the first thing we look for? Eastern Conference teams moving up or down. You don't want those Eastern Conference teams getting in on the action for the lottery here. So I'm drawing the line in the sand, Ross.
No.
You want your favorite team to win? Cool. Wow. What a shocking new idea. What a crazy fashion trend, Ross. No, on my side of the beach, we're going for can't win here. We do not want to win this game tonight.
Are you worried about the Columbus Blue Jackets, though? Like, do you think they're a Mackling Celebrini away from being a competitive team?
No, but at the same time, I would rather Macklin Celebrini go to pretty much any other franchise for the greater good of the sport of hockey. Columbus, not exactly the spot you want to go. Yeah, San Jose, the hockey hotbed. San Jose.
Well, he grew up there. It's kind of cool story, right?
Yeah, true. Yeah, exactly. See, that's what I'm saying. Get him over
there.
No,
well, Columbus ain't dropping down to the San Jose Sharks, who don't even have 40 points yet.
Hey, it's a lottery, Ross. A couple percentages in your way. How did Chicago, they were talking about this, I think. Chicago beat Pittsburgh last year, late in the year, to eliminate the Penguins from the playoffs while also making their lottery odds worse. And that ended up giving them the pick. So maybe we'll look back on this and you'll laugh and you'll be like, Pilsy, thank God I wanted the Sens to win that game in Columbus because that's what got us the better pick. Who knows? That's the way the lottery works, unfortunately. But yeah, I don't want... This is a weird one, Ross, because especially like this Columbus Blue Jackets team is not very good, but they have 7 injuries. And I think we'll talk about it when we get to the lines, but I'm pretty sure all those injuries are up front as well. So it's like this. And the crazy thing is, this team played the Montreal Canadiens. I was reading the Columbus Blue Jackets preview and in their last game, and they had 98 shot attempts and no goals. 98 shot attempts and no goals. That tells you the state of where this team is offensively against the Montreal Canadiens of all teams.
Yeah, they're an elite tanking team. I told you. This is what we're up against here.
That's why I'm so worried about beating them. You should be come join my side of the beach, Ross. If this is an elite tanking team, we got to out-tank them.
It's sunny over here, baby. It's sunny over here. We're just hanging out, enjoying the view. We're at Lake Ohio, if that's even a thing. We're just hanging out. Well, what else they got in Columbus? Oh, it's called Columbus Lake. I don't know if that's actually in Columbus, but we'll get into our game day preview next. In the comments, we want to hear who is your favorite former Sens player that's also played for Columbus. Love doing it on social media. The photo we posted on Twitter, hilarious today, if I do say so myself. Go check it out at Sens Central. And apropos to nothing, I've got our mid-season top 10 for the NHL Draft, so we'll get into that next in a full game day preview. You're listening to Locked On Senators, your team every day.
Today's episode is brought to you by our friends over at Mary J's.
What up?
Yeah, exactly. Mary J's is a locally owned cannabis dispensary in the Ottawa area. If you listened to or watched yesterday's episode, you got to hear one of Mary J's founders, Dashy. You guys all know Dashy. Say what up to Dashy. He told the story about how him and his buddies made a life-changing decision to open a store in Kingston. They slept on mattresses on the floor of the sales room to make ends meet. They grinded, and now they have 4 stores in the Ottawa area and a store in Cobourg. If you want to check them out in Ottawa, the locations are Riverside South, Orleans, Greeley, and Russell. Mary J's has been able to thrive because they got the best and newest products in the market, and they're adding stuff to the menu every week to keep it fresh. Whether you're a rookie just looking to dip your toes in, or you're a seasoned vet and you want to get in and out of there quickly, they got you. Mary J's offers competitive pricing. They're going to price match any store in Ottawa. That means you're guaranteed to get the best price around at a Mary J's location. Mary J's has the best customer service around with the friendliest bud tenders who are always ready to help. You heard it. Dashy said he's there usually 12 hours a day, 5 days a week. He's there. He's ready to help you out. He's an absolute beauty. Sens Central citizen now and a die-hard Sens fan. Go check out his interview with us yesterday's episode. So go to one of the stores, say what up to Dashy, pick his brain about the Sens and about all the latest, greatest products that Mary J's has to offer. Check it out today, guys. Mary J's Dispensary.
Today's episode is also brought to you by our friends at Ibotta. Ibotta is a great place to get everything you need. At the Ibotta app, just get it and get your grocery bills down. That's the key. Now, grocery bills don't have to be so expensive. I know. I just went yesterday. It's the worst. Start getting cash back on your grocery shopping with the free Ibotta app. Get cash back every time you shop. Do you love making money? Yeah. Do you also love spending money? Don't we all? Now, while we can make money while you spend it every time you shop with Ibotta. Spring break is around the corner, which means you're going shopping. Ibotta is a free app that gives you the most cash back every time you shop on hundreds of items, from groceries to beauty supplies to toys. You can make sure you're beating inflation no matter what you're purchasing. The average Ibotta user earns $256 per year. That could cover the cost of an entire shopping trip. So you can buy that flight you've been eyeing, that game you're dying to go to, or the fancy dinner that you've been craving. Other apps give you points that don't amount to much. But with Ibotta, just add your offers in the app, upload your receipt, and you get real cash that you can cash out to your bank account, PayPal, or gift cards. Join the over 50 million users and earn cash back every time you shop from over 2,700 brands and retailers, including Lowe's, Macy's, Sephora, and more. Right now, Ibotta is offering our listeners $5 just for trying it at Ibotta using the Locked On NHL code when you register. Just go to the App Store or Google Play Store and download the free Ibotta app and start earning cash back by using code Locked On NHL. That's IBOTTA in the Google Play or App Store and use code Locked On NHL. Right, Pillsy, game day for the Ottawa Senators, and I almost threw the break. I said, your tank every day here on Locked On Senators. We are obviously hoping for the greater good for the Ottawa Senators, but with playoffs just so far away, it would be irresponsible for us to say, oh, just get pucks in deep, score on the power play, get a save, and we could do just that. No, right now we're evaluating the players as individuals, who wants it and who is going to step up in these big moments. So that's kind of where we're at right now, Pillsy, but we're also starting to take a peek ahead. The top 80 NHL draft prospects will be profiled here on Locked On Senators this summer, and I started fiddling around. I was just having a little fun and wanted to see, because Corey Pronman from The Athletic just released his midterm rankings yesterday. So this year, we're going to add in hockeyprospect.com. We love our friend Jerome Berube with hockeyprospect.com. He was a part of the mock draft, pre-draft interview last year. So we've got hockeyprospect.com. We've got Elite Prospects. We've got Corey Pronman and Scott Wheeler from The Athletic. We've got our TSN guys, Bob McKenzie and Craig Button, as well as our guy, Chris Peters, who is now over at Flow Hockey, formerly of ESPN. So what we do is we take these 7 rankings and average them out. And Pillsy, look how tight the race is between really 2 and 7 are all interchangeable. And that is another reason why it's not as critical to tank, because if you're in that 2 to 7 range, even the top 10, they're all averaging 9 or higher. You're going to get a really good player in the top 10 this year.
Yeah, absolutely. That is one thing you can take solace in. If you're going to be bad in a year where there's good talent in the top 10 and a good mix here too, right? Like you got centerman, left defenseman, right defenseman, a couple wingers. So there's definitely opportunities to fill spots in your franchise that you need to help the prospect pipeline here. But I really think there's a lot of intrigue to this draft, obviously, because the Senators need some help in the prospect pipeline. But for the first time in a long time, it's a new regime at the helm here. So it's going to be fascinating to see what decision they make with their first round pick.
It certainly will. We heard Dave Poulin tell us on episode 1000, they're looking for character and hockey sense. Character and hockey sense. So we're going to really try to go through with the fine-tooth comb and find the best hockey sense in this draft. That'll be a solo episode as we near the draft. But our initial top 10, and this is averaging out those 7 scouting entities that we just discussed. Macklin Celebrini, the unanimous first overall pick in this draft. Then we got a left shot defenseman who stands 6'7" from the KHL, Anton Sialev. And I'm going to get all the pronunciations right. I think that's the only one that I'm a bit stuck on right now. But he's an imposing figure. And if you've been following our draft coverage, you can assume that his skating might be the one avenue that needs a bit of help, because Elite Prospects is very hard on the skating. They have him all the way down at 10. Bob McKenzie has him at 2. So we're already getting into a wide range of thoughts just at number 2. Artyom Levshunov of the NCAA. He's from Belarus, but already playing in North America. He's at number 3. Number 4 is Ivan Demidov. Very similar stat profile to last year's Matvey Michkov. Demidov playing in the MHL, just below the KHL. We got a London Knights defenseman, left shot. Hey, does that sound familiar? As we've got Columbus and Ottawa playing tonight. Sam Dickinson is at number 5. Cole Eiserman, no, not Steve Eiserman, no relation, spelt differently. Cole Eiserman, who is just scoring goals at a ridiculous pace in the U.S. national team program. He's at number 6. Caden Lidstrom, another one where he goes from number 2 to number 11. Huge range, big player, high ceiling, all the tools. Can he put it all together to be like one of the best power forwards basically in the league? That'll be years to find out. Konsta Helenius is at 8. Berkeley Catton is at 9. And Zane Perrick is at number 10. Pillsy, he's still your guy?
I mean, I've done very limited research, Ross. You are a true draft and prospect junkie, so you get into it early and you dive in. I've merely dipped my toe into things here. Certainly, I think Zane Perrick is one of the most interesting prospects here, but I'm starting to lean more towards, if the Senators do pick in the top 5, Artyom Levshunov. I think that's going to be a better avenue to take there, because Zane Perrick sounds like your classic offenseman, which is okay, but maybe not the exact type of player the Sens need. But I still like the player, and if the Sens slip a little farther or get crazy and trade down, I wouldn't be too upset about that.
All right, let us know in the comments after seeing this top 10. Is there 1 or 2 players in particular? Hey, get wild. Power rank all 10 of how much you'd want them to be a future Ottawa Senator. I figured today was a good day to do this, though, Pillsy, with the Senators taking on the Columbus Blue Jackets. Both teams are going to get top 10 picks. So all you Blue Jackets fans, you hate watching this. No, I'm just kidding. You aren't like the Red Wings and Leaf fans.
Yeah, we got no beef with Blue Jackets fans. You guys are all good. All good.
The only thing I have beef with Blue Jackets is that damn cannon. And I know it's overstated, but it is so annoying. It really is. So that's my only beef with the Blue Jackets.
Hey, you know what? If I'm a Blue Jackets fan, I'm rallying around that cannon, though. So I respect it. I hate it, but I respect it.
What would the Senators equivalent be like? Could they play into any? Like,
the first thing that came to my mind was like a lion roar, to be like gladiators fighting lions. Just play danger flutes. Just always, when in doubt, if you need a noise or a song or anything, just danger flutes.
I love it. Well said, Pillsy. All right, full game day preview on the other side. You're listening to Locked On Senators, your tank every day.
Today's episode is brought to you by our friends over at Robinhood. Did you know that even if you have a 401k for retirement, you can still have an IRA? Robinhood has the only IRA that gives you a 3% boost on every dollar you contribute when you subscribe to Robinhood Gold. But get this, now through April 30th, so you still got time, Robinhood is even boosting every single dollar amount you transfer in from other retirement accounts with a 3% match. That's right, no cap on the 3% match. Robinhood Gold gets you the most for your retirement thanks to their IRA with a 3% match. This offer is good through April 30th. Get started today at robinhood.com/boost. Subscription fees apply. And now, some quick legal info. Claim as of Q1 2024, validated by Radius Global Market Research. Investing involves risk, including loss. Limitations apply to IRAs and 401ks. 3% match requires Robinhood Gold for 1 year from the date of first 3% match. Must keep Robinhood IRA for 5 years. The 3% match on transfers is subject to specific terms and conditions. Robinhood IRA available to U.S. customers in good standing. Robinhood Financial LLC member SIPC is a registered broker dealer. Check it out today, guys. Robinhood.
All right, Pilsy, here we are. We're at the game day preview portion of the show. I should have noted the Senators made it an optional skate this morning, so we will find out exactly what the lineup is tonight. One thing we do know is Anton Forsberg will start in goal. Heck, it was going to be a revenge game either way. Both Forsberg and Korpisalo, former Blue Jacket netminders. Korpisalo coming off a couple good games, though, I will say. So a little bit surprised by that move. Are you?
No, I think it was about time to get Forsberg in the mix here, and I don't know. There's not too many implications one way or another, depending on who plays there.
No, one thing I will be watching for tonight is this top line that is really starting to gain some chemistry. Obviously, Drake Batherson scores the OT winner last game, but this line in regulation, I'm really enjoying watching Shane Pinto find a chemistry with Brady Tkachuk. Those two hadn't played at all really together before this season. Now, Pinto, Tkachuk, Batherson, your top line going into tonight's game. Tim Stützle is centering Mathieu Joseph and Claude Giroux. Zach Ostapchuk, I could get used to seeing him down the middle with this team. Looked good in his NHL debut on Tuesday night. He's going as center with Ridley Gregg and Dominic Kubalik. And then the fourth line is the Kastelic, Kachuk, and Kelly combination. Parker Kelly back from serving a 2-game suspension. On the back end, it's Jake Sanderson with Artem Zub. It's Jacob Chikrin with Max Gannett. And it's Eric Brandstrom with Jacob Bernard Docker. Pilsy, your locked on player to watch.
My locked on player to watch is going to be number 38, Zach Ostapchuk. I mean, he had a really good NHL debut, in my opinion, played over 12 minutes, including a shift on overtime where Ross, I don't know if you heard, but he stole it from Sidney Crosby to start the play that eventually led to the goal. I want to see more of the same from Zach Ostapchuk, and I love the fact that Jacques Martin has put him with a guy that he knows from World Juniors and from playing in Belleville together, Ridley Gregg. So I love that little combo there. So I want to see Zach Ostapchuk continue to do what he did in his first game, build on that, and let's see if we can get him to his first career point up against a team like the Columbus Blue Jackets.
Would love that for Zach Ostapchuk. We'll be watching him closely. I'm going to go, though, with Mathieu Joseph as my locked on player. He struggled during the losing streak. A lot of guys did. They weren't scoring a lot of goals. Only had 1 assist during 7 games during that stretch. 8 shots in 7 games. Well, in the win over Pittsburgh, assist, 3 shots on goal. He was physical. He was bullying guys in front of the net. And that's what we want to continue to see here for Mathieu Joseph. Not only that, but in that game, we talk about milestones. He set a career high. He got his 31st point of the season. His previous career high was 30, set back in the year where he split time between Tampa and Ottawa. So a nice milestone for him there. Now the next one is, let's see if he can set a new career high in goals. He set that back when he was a rookie. He had 13 goals in a season with Tampa. Right now, he's at 10. So he just needs 3 goals in the final 19 games. I say he does it. Well, he needs 4 to pass it. So let's focus on 15. That's a good number. Let's see if Joseph can get 5 more goals the rest of the season, because it has fallen off offensively for him. Now he does bring so much else in terms of, his ability to kill penalties, even though Sens maybe as a team aren't that great at it. However, you look at what he can do away from the puck. It's all been good this year, the speed, everything. But I'd like to see him get back. Doesn't have to be as hot as he was at the start of the year, but I want to see him, if he's going to play in a top 6, even though injuries are kind of forcing it. I want him to be able to show that he can provide some offense in that role.
Yeah, the opportunity is certainly there, playing with Tim Stützle and Claude Giroux, and I feel like they've had good chemistry as a line. So, yeah, I'm with you, Ross. I was actually thinking about Joseph, too, so that's a good one.
And that's the line that's played by far the most minutes together at 5-on-5 this year, Pilsy. Like it's not even close for the Ottawa
Yeah.
Senators.
That makes sense.
Look at this. If you do it to minimum 100 minutes, Pilsy, look at this. 245 minutes together at 5-on-5. Joseph, Stützle, and Giroux. The next line that's played the most is almost 100 minutes less at 5-on-5, which is Norris, Tkachuk, and Giroux as well. So kind of interesting there that they're really relying on this trio and they're not breaking it up by any means. So, hey, they've kind of been through the mud together at times over the last stretch of losses, but let's see if they can continue to pick it up. And I mean, how many more points would Joseph have, though, whether it's a secondary assist or assist?
I know where you're going.
If Timmy wasn't as snake bit as he is, like
so many more points, so many more.
I do. While we're on this topic, though, Timmy's diving poke check defensively is exactly what's going to make him a true superstar in this league. The goals are going to come. Like, he's getting so many chances, and it would be remiss not to mention that he always scores highlight reel goals against Columbus. Got 4 goals in 8 games in his career against Columbus. I'd say 3 of them are highlight reel material. But if he's going to show that commitment on defense over and over again, that's a huge step forward for the Sens going forward.
Well, and Ross, the big thing about that is, look, Timmy is snake bitten offensively, and he's a frustrated guy. He is very hard on himself. So if he's able to boost himself by making good defensive plays and be like, no, I had that guy there. That was a great diving play by me. I'm back, and kind of get a morale boost, even just self-confidence wise. You got to find different ways when you're not scoring to keep yourself up and keep yourself motivated and confident. So hopefully Timmy can keep doing much of the same here.
Looking forward to it. The Ottawa Senators are taking on a Blue Jackets team that is 22, 33, and 10 this season. Here's how they line up. Boone Jenner is starting at center between Johnny Gaudreau and Alex. Don't call me William Nylander. Alex Nylander came over in a trade recently, what we thought was a minor league trade, but Alex Nylander's red hot. We got Dmitry Voronkov with Fix Wolanski and Kirill Marchenko. Cole Sillinger is with Alexandre Texier of France. And, oh, man, I'm already going to mess this up. I feel so bad for this guy because he's playing his first NHL game this season. I've never seen anything like this in my life. Pilsy, we were talking earlier today. YYH as a combination.
That makes I remember we talked about it. That makes a sound. So I think it's Putia.
Mikel Putia is at right wing. He's scoring. He is so scoring his first career NHL goal tonight based on this conversation.
Ross, I know that name and how to pronounce it from my annual Finnish scouting trip.
Of course you do. Brendan Gaunt, who I was like, oh, Pilsy, like, did he play for the Belleville Sens? Turns out my brain is very strange. He was the captain of the Belleville Bulls 11 years ago. So don't ask me how or why I know that. I truly shouldn't. Meyer is at left wing, and Mathieu Olivier, who has shown everybody that despite being a smaller stature, physical presence, that guy can chuck knuckles. He is one of the most feared fighters, I'd say, this season, or at least one of the most active and offensive fighters, because he's not holding back when he goes. He's coming in there swinging. They got another good fighter on the back end. We'll get to him. But first, the top pair, Zach Werenski with Adam Bokvist. You got Ivan Provorov with Damon Severson, and Jake Bean is with Sens Abroad legend and another elite fighter, Eric Goodbranson. In goal, it's Elvis Merzlikins, Daniil Tarasov. Tarasov was in goal when Ottawa played Columbus a couple weeks ago, maybe a month ago, and Brady Tkachuk scored his second career hat trick and first hat trick where all 3 goals were on the goalie. He had a empty netter in his first career hat trick. Pilsy, that was a long-winded lineup, but there are some players of intrigue. Who's your lookout player tonight?
My lookout player is going to be number 8, Zach Werenski. Ross, for a team in the Columbus Blue Jackets that have a minus 43 goal differential, and he plays, let me find the average time on ice. He plays an average of 24 minutes and 18 seconds. To have a +4 rating is pretty damn impressive, in my opinion. And I feel like Zach Werenski that's a guy that often gets slept on when people talk about number one defenseman. Is he a Norris Trophy guy? No, not in that top echelon. But I would argue that he's a good number one defenseman. He puts up big points on bad Columbus Blue Jackets teams. Like, he's eclipsed the 40-point mark 1, 2, 3, 4, and he's at 38 points right now. So he's probably going to do it again this season. So it's going to be 5 times in his short career that he's eclipsed 40 points. So you love to see that from Zach Werenski. And that's one guy that, despite all the injuries that the Columbus Blue Jackets are having, he's been steady for them. And he is second on the team in points, only behind Johnny Gaudreau. This team struggles to score. They don't even have one 20-goal scorer on the Columbus Blue Jackets. Not one guy with 20 goals. The leader in goals is captain number 38, Boone Jenner, with 19. Now, we got to mention it, Ross, and sorry for going on a little long here and making you wait for your lookout player, but the injuries that this team has is wild. You're looking at Adam Fantilli out, Patrick Laine with the Players Assistant Program, Kent Johnson, Justin Danforth, Sean Corrali, Igor Chinnikov, and Kirill Marchenko, sorry. That's 7 forwards out of this lineup. Like, this is how you tank. And obviously, I'm not saying those injuries are fake or anything like that, but like, that's good. This is tanking. If you're the Columbus Blue Jackets, this is tanking.
Yes, and while the players that are left, some guys are in elevated roles, like my lookout player, Dmitry Voronkov, who's a rookie, 23-year-old rookie in the league, 6'5", 240 pounds. He's getting under guys' skin. I believe he scored a goal against Ottawa the last time these two teams played against one another, but he did. And at that point, he was on a 3 goals in 4 games type streak. Now, he only has one goal, no assists in his last 8 games, so he's starting to cool down offensively, but he's a guy who it seems like is going to be kind of that prototypical third line player who's going to, cause problems. He's also a plus player this year, +5, 31 points in 59 games. And I just think that this is kind of like what Shane Pinto went through last year, where he's playing a bit higher in the lineup than you would like, but long-term it's going to help him out. So that Voronkov-Marchenko combination has been pretty good for them this year. So I'll go with him as my lookout player, but I'm also looking out at Johnny Gaudreau making what? 11 million? No, current cap at $9.7 million. And he has 10 goals this season.
Yeah.
10 goals.
It's wild, the drop off for him. And a quick correction. I think I said Marchenko was injured. As you just mentioned, he is not. He is in the lineup tonight. So 6
but
in
back
guys
tonight.
In front. Yeah.
He's been out.
Yeah, he had an illness, but he's back tonight.
Okay, and Marchenko's got 17 goals as well. So they got guys sniffing around that 20-goal mark, but nobody's there yet for the Columbus Blue Jackets. Keys to the game: win the special teams battle. There's no question about that. It's going to be a kind of the easiest way to get there. The Blue Jackets are bottom 5 in both power play and penalty killing this season. Their power play, only Philadelphia is worse. Blue Jackets are converting on 13.9% of their power plays, and guess what? Their PK, it's only a little bit better. Now, it is better than Ottawa's, but it's clicking at 76%. They're 25th in the league. So that's where you beat them.
And one more stat to mention here, depending on which side of the beach you're on, whether on Ross's side, trying to win games up against
sunny
tanking teams. Couldn't be me trying to win games as an Ottawa Senators fan, or whether you're on my side of the beach where we're trying to make this team better for the future, 1 step back to take 2 steps forward. I want Daniil Tarasov in this game for the Columbus Blue Jackets, Ross, because he has posted, this is nuts, a .941 save percentage in his last 7 appearances.
Was his 8th appearance against Ottawa? Because he certainly wasn't in a 900 situation then.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? Like, that is not a guy I thought would be that hot. And so
was.
Yeah, of course.
So in his last 7 games, he's 3-3 with a 941. 8 games ago, he put up an 828 against Ottawa.
That's crazy. Yeah. So, and in this stretch, he's also has a 2.09 goals against average. So like he's been feeling it lately. So I'm hoping they start Tarasov here.
All right, there you have it. Sens and Blue Jackets tonight at 7 o'clock Eastern in Columbus. It's going to be a game. It's going to be a hockey game. There's no doubt. We're going to have fun, though, in the postcast. That's for sure. So make sure you join us. Martian and I will break this one down after the game. And then, look, you want to bring in at least a bit of positivity into a busy weekend. It's an afternoon game on Saturday. And then, an early evening, 6 o'clock game on Sunday. Pillsy will be boots on the ground. We also do have a discounted ticket link. If you want to go to the game, don't want to pay the full price, go to our YouTube channel. Under this video, when you click the video, the top comment will be the link to get cheaper tickets. There's no catch, cheaper tickets wherever in the building that we have available, and you can get that there. Pillsy, any final thoughts on today's show?
I have two final thoughts. One quick one. Shout out Connor Brown. Finally scores.
That was mine.
Damn. Maybe I should have left that one for it. Here, you take it off. Shout out Connor Brown for reasons unknown. Ross.
No, this is just an impressive story. I hope you're going with Mads then for the other one. So
yes, that is what I'm doing.
Connor Brown left Ottawa at the end of the 2021-22 season, right? They needed to get number 28 for Claude Giroux. All jokes aside, that's not why, but he was due for his next contract. He had 1 year left. Were they going to pay him or were they going to allow him to walk? He was a great Senator. He really was. He was awesome. He was kind of here at the darkest period and was really a solid player. I think he set the record, didn't he? Most consecutive games with a goal. Didn't he score 8 straight games? Well,
and he led the team in goals 1 year.
Well, he then left Ottawa and did not score a goal for a total of 59 games until last night. And this is just how the hockey gods would draw it up. He scores a goal that he doesn't shoot. It just hits off of him and goes
Actually,
in.
I didn't see the goal.
Yeah, it just hit off him and went
in. If you're Connor Brown, you're taking that. Absolutely.
Oh,
you're taking that. Maybe get a hat back on, Ross.
Look at that.
So
haircut tomorrow.
So shout out Connor Brown. We love to see it. Good guy. Battled some intense injuries, and that's a good feel good story for Sens abroad.
And it was against Washington, the team that he played for last year and got hurt. So
true,
a little extra. It was also made it 7-2 in the third period.
Massive. Needed that. They needed that.
He needed the goal, and he's such a seemingly good guy. Just happy for him.
Yeah, exactly. Agreed. So my actual final thought is going to be, we talked about it at the start of the show. It's in one of our headlines, so maybe a little wild move by us waiting this far to get to it. But huge night for the Belleville Senators as they beat the Utica Comets 5-2. A lot of their big players coming back to the lineup. Smakal, Clevin was back. Crooker. Yep. So this was a big boost for their lineup. And no bigger boost, Ross, than the Great Dane with 25 saves in the win. Mads Søgaard is now the record holder, the franchise leader in Belleville Senators history with 46 wins. So you guys know we're a hashtag goalie friendly show. So we wanted to give Mads his proper stick taps and props there. So shout out Mads Søgaard, Belleville Senators franchise leader in wins.
We're also a Mads friendly show because that guy's awesome, and we're rooting for him going forward. He's had such a good year in the AHL as well. 920 save percentage now so far this season in 25 games played. So, hey, the run is on, and everything can change in an instant. We talked to Angus Crookshank recently about just how tight the division is in the North. Right now, Belleville sits in 4th place, but they are 1 point from Rochester, who sit in 3rd. And it's a big one on Friday night. The Belleville Sens will be in Syracuse, and Syracuse is in 2nd place in the division. So it's going to be a fun one. Ride to the finish line for the Belleville Senators, and we'll be here to track it all for you. We'll get footy on come playoff time and all that. First, though, we got to get through the Sens season, man. We got to get there. Is it a can't-win game, or is it an impossible-to-lose game? You be the judge for tonight. But we'll leave it at that for today. For Brandon Piller, I'm Ross Levitan. We'll see you in the postcast tonight. Thanks for watching. This has been another edition of the Locked On Senators podcast, your team every day.